What is up, everybody? Bobby here, the Geek Guru. Geek, definitely guru. So, I'm here again. Tony, the working housewife on YouTube. You guys should check out our videos, especially if, you got wives. Direct your wives that way, So today, I wanted to talk about movies. And we're going to diversify a little bit.
Back to the Future?
No, not Back to the Future. Damn. Maybe, but I don't know. Because this week, last week, I don't know when week it is when this video goes up, but Zack Snyder tweeted the picture of Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
Okay, I'm dumb.
Okay. Was
he the guy from Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Okay.
How could you not tell?
I thought it was, but I wasn't sure.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, okay.
He was, what is it? Khaleesi's husband.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
Who died.
Yeah.
But there was rumors before, and he kept denying that he was Aquaman, and people were like, no, we know you're Aquaman, but he kept denying it, and then apparently, he finally, the contract got done, but this is the first image of Aquaman.
He looks pretty good.
I think he looks badass. People are poking fun because it seems like all of the pictures that have been released so far are kind of like dark looking. And people, you look at the Avengers and they're all bright and Disney-fied, and then you look at DC and it's all a darker
I was going to say, most of the movies kind of, like for DC, kind of have like that dark kind of
and I don't want to say it's dark,
it,
but I don't think it's dark. I think it's realistic.
Yeah.
They're giving, basically they're continuing.
It's not comic-y.
Yes, they're continuing the Christopher Nolan trend of what would happen if there was legit superheroes in the world.
Right.
And that's fine. They can do that. I'm all for that. That's all well and good. I just, I don't think that when these movies start to come out, I think they're going to start progressing, because apparently in the new Superman suit in this movie, it's a little bit more brighter colors. So they're starting to come out with... Batman's always going to be dark. That's just a dark character. That's how he is.
Dark Knight.
Yes. I think you'll see when the movies actually release, like Aquaman will have some color to him. I think Wonder Woman will have some color to her. Or Superman will have some color. I mean, Batman has color to him, apparently. Like, it's the first Batman that actually isn't just a black suit, which I'm excited for.
Like, you'll have the yellow?
No, we'll have the yellow. But it'll have, I don't know which version they're doing. I know they're doing, I mean, we saw the suit, but colors-wise,
like the blue?
I'm not sure if they're going blue and gray or black and gray. But regardless, there's gray in it, which is awesome for me. I love... I just pray Zack Snyder does the blue and the gray, because
that would be pretty cool. It would be different.
I'll lose it right in the middle of the movie theater.
And you will.
Like, the minute I see it, I'll be like screaming like a little girl.
Oh my god!
Yeah, pretty much. So that's that's kind of what I wanted to touch on with that. But then I also wanted to talk about with the announcement of the Ghostbusters, and this is more of a movie-centric video, I guess you would say, on this particular edition. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is, do you feel like they need to do this movie?
No. I don't.
Yeah, I'm the same.
And I watch these girls. Like, I love Kristen Wiig. I love her. And I watch Saturday Night Live all the time. So I know Leslie Jones and Kate McKinnon, and I love Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's just amazing.
Yeah.
But I feel like, but they're not gonna be. It's not gonna be the same Ghostbusters.
No, it's
as the first one.
It's like a rebranding, so to speak.
Right.
But
I just hate when they take these classic movies and redo them.
Yeah.
It's like, just leave them alone. Like, are you running out of ideas that you have to keep?
Well, that's obvious.
Up?
They're running out of ideas. That's obvious.
I mean, it's like everything.
And I think that, like, I don't mind the superhero movies.
That's
because that to me is like comic book vibe. That's what they did during comic books. They're continually putting out new comics. They're rebooting them, so to speak, and changing
different universes.
Yes, and all that stuff. So I'm fine with that. To me, it's almost like reading a comic book where this year you get a certain particular story. They'll do story arcs where you'll read 4 comics, and in those 4 comics, it's a story arc. It's a particular story. Then they'll move on to something else.
Right.
So
there's a lot to go.
Yes, and there's. I mean, Batman's 75 years old. There's 75 years of great stories that they could, dive in and put in and do all that stuff. So that I'm fine with. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I have a problem with them taking 80s everything and just rehashing it to death.
If it was like the same guys, well, except for the one because he died, Howard Ramis. He died. But if it was like that they took those original Ghostbusters and did like another
I don't even want that.
It wouldn't bother me as much.
I don't, you know what, I'm over all the remakes. It's so annoying. Here's an example. And we had this discussion before and we talked about it one time. But The Karate Kid.
Yeah.
That movie was unwatchable. I literally shut that movie off and was like, I'm out.
Will Smith's kid one.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Jaden
was bad.
Smith.
That was bad.
Because I felt like this. If you want to do that movie and you want to do it properly, then you bring Ralph Macchio back to play Daniel LaRusso and have him
be like the Mr. Miyagi.
And he teaches. I don't care that it's not, and it has nothing to do with it's a black Karate Kid or whatever like that. You could have put Jaden Smith in the movie. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But they should have kept all the background, all the backstory, all that stuff together. And they should have had where Daniel, and it doesn't have to be the same. It doesn't have to be where he's like running an apartment complex or anything like that. I mean, Pat Morita is dead, so you could do a story where, Mr. Miyagi died or whatever. And, maybe Jaden Smith, maybe that character's getting picked on or whatever, and you go that way. And because I feel like that would have been...
There was lots of ways to introduce Ralph Macchio in there, too. He could have been like his teacher.
Yeah, you could have done anything with it.
I mean, there was a lot of ways to bring him in.
But the thing of it is I feel like Star Wars, the new set that's coming out, they get it. J.J. Abrams gets it. What's he do? He puts in the old cast and a new cast. So what are you doing? You got people like me that are like, holy crap, I get to see Luke Skywalker, Han Solo one more time. I'm all for it. And then you have kids that are going to be able to actually see it for the first time, and you're appeasing both sides.
And then they're going to go back and watch the older ones because they're going to be like, oh, I want to see what went on before.
So for me, that's the way you handle a remake per se. Ghostbusters, there's no need to make that movie over
because
again.
They were good.
They were fine. They did too.
I mean, they were good for like the 80s.
Yes. If they were worth doing another sequel, they would have done a sequel. It wasn't like when they shot 2 that they were all ancient old men that couldn't come back for another movie. And it's not like I'm picking on it because it's a female lead. It's not like I'm picking on, any of these movies. I just feel like, they did Total Recall again. Total Recall was an amazing movie at the time. What they're not getting is this. When they remake, there's something about those movies that are making people want to see them. At that time when Total Recall came out, Schwarzenegger was like hitting on all cylinders. He was at the top of his game. And then, the special effects and the technological end of things were just unreal at that time. And so it was like, this is awesome, but to do it again, it's like, what are you doing? Like, and you change the story up, but I heard they went more with what the book actually was compared to what the movie was. But still, it's like it makes no sense what they're doing.
Not to bring up Back to the Future.
No, well, that's what I was going to say to you. Because what if they were to say like, "Hey, we're going to do it Back to the Future"?
I would not go say it. I would be so pissed off if they did it. But I don't have to worry about that because the people who made Back to the Future, Robert Zemeckis, and they said they are not giving anyone the rights to be able to remake it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's done. There's no more sequels, nothing. Yeah. They're doing the Broadway play.
And that's fine because they're involved in it.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like that's a bad thing. Like if the original people are kind of involved, then that's fine. And a Broadway play is fine because they do a lot of stuff. You know, like if they were to redo Rocky movies, I would be upset.
Yeah.
But Stallone just keeps making them anyway, so it's like you're an asshole. Like stop at some point. Like seriously, dude.
Is he making another one?
He's making Creed.
Making the other one. Oh, that's right.
Which is a cool concept. It's Apollo Creed's grandson.
Yeah.
Who comes to him and asks him to train him, which is a cool concept, and I'm for that.
Which could have been the way that they could have done the Karate Kid.
Yes, and I feel like that's the problem. You know, you look at the way they're doing things, and it's just a mess. You know, and I'm not a fan of the way things are going right now in Hollywood at all. You know, it's a dying breed whatsoever.
I'm waiting for them to, but I don't think John Hughes is allowing them to take his movies and redo them. I don't know. Like I'm waiting for them to do like a new Breakfast Club or. I
don't think that. Well, John Hughes is dead, but the people that oversee it, I don't think they're allowing.
I don't think he made it so that they can redo them.
No,
because that would. I mean, they're actually bringing the Breakfast Club back to theaters though for the 30th anniversary.
And that to me is how you do it.
Yeah.
If you want to do it right, put the movie back out and like. Okay, here's an example.
I want them to bring Back to the Future back to the theater, which they kind of are, but only in select theaters, and it's going to be like a kind of how they do Rocky Horror Picture Show, where like there's people acting it out while the movie's going on, kind of thing. I would be there in a heartbeat if it's around in our area.
I mean, if you told me I could go back and watch some great movies, Jaws, you know, the original Star Wars, Indiana Jones, like. Just Rocky, Godfather, all these great movies. Just put them back in the theaters.
That's all you gotta do.
You don't need to remake them. Just put them back in the theaters, and that's all you need to do. I mean, if you could tell me that I could go see E.T. and all these great summer Goonies, like there's an example.
Doing the Goonies too.
No, but I don't think it's going to happen. They talked about it. No, they talked about it, but the one thing that I liked about
they were.
No, because Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin don't want to. He don't want to do it. That to me, because he's the only one that has a career out of all the rest of them are. But to me, that's the thing. Like the way they were talking about doing that was, hey, they're the parents. They have kids. That's the way you do it. That's the hook. That brings the old generation in, and they kind of go, okay, I'm cool with this. And then the younger generation is like, okay, I'm going because my parents talked about how great this was, and then you can introduce your kids to the original movie and then go on.
It's kind of like which it's not a movie, but Girl Meets World. It's on the Disney Channel. I was a huge Boy Meets World fan. That was like the thing when I was in high school and stuff. That was the show. So now when they have Girl Meets World and they're bringing back people from Boy Meets World, I'm watching it because it's like I'm seeing what happened after Boy Meets World, and I want to watch it because I want to see all these people that I've seen before. So I think that would be like the same in the movies. Exactly.
So that's what I was leading to. That point was I started with the Aquaman thing because that's what it was. But my main thing was movies today, and then going back and do we really need to rehash these movies and redo them?
They suck.
It's horrible. It really is. I mean, I can't even tell you the last time we went. And it's what, and it's not even the fact. Like, well, no, I can tell you because I go to see all the
you see
superhero movies when they're in.
But that was like the last.
Yeah, and I'll go to the midnight showing and stuff because it's kind of like I'm in my own group of geeks that can kind of like do it too.
I went to the Superman one.
Huh?
I went to the Superman midnight showing. That was kind of fun, though.
Did you go?
I went to Superman, not Batman.
I didn't know you went to that. I thought you backed out.
No, I went to Superman. I backed out of Batman.
Yeah, that's right. You were supposed to go, and you bought tickets, and you backed out the last minute.
I do that.
Chicken shit. But that's, to me, like, I think that they're they're hurting themselves, and they need to figure out how to fix it and whatever. So thank you guys for watching. You can follow us on social media. I'm at The Geek Gurus on Instagram and Twitter, facebook.com/The Geek Gurus. You're at
Instagram and Twitter at TWH Tony with an I.
There you go. And check out our YouTube channel, The Working Housewife. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Peace, mother.
Pass the road to your house that you never call home, where they turned out your light